strong because Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
Introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? I mean, what's really going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. You've tuned into Unhinged Live. It's your girl, Nikita, Tilted Halo Hansford, and I'm sitting alongside my very good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads, LLC, and we have what I would like to coin in this moment, a magical conversation in store for you tonight, because as I was speaking in the off-air conversation to tonight's guest, that ain't nothing but God. But before we go ahead and get into tonight's line up, I want to go ahead and say thank you to each and every one of our replay viewers who are going to tune in at a later date and time. We appreciate your support, and all of you, if you are enjoying what we offer here conversation-wise at Unhinged Live, go ahead and share the broadcast. You can share it on your own personal social media, or you can tell a friend about what we have going on over here. We are unhinged, not necessarily the crazy kind, and we are always all the way live. So go ahead, push that like, subscribe, share button. You see from our flyer, we actually broadcast to several different Facebook and YouTube locations. Yes, that's right. We have created our own syndication here. That is why we are the Interstar nominee once again. So before I get into it, we're going to have another weekly superfan shout out and get into our conversation with tonight's guest. We're going to hear and receive from our very own in-house certified master life coach, Coach Cash herself, Karen Sims Harrell, Twisted Threads, LLC. That's my best friend, y'all. And of course, I am going to close out the show with yet another Just Be moment. So I'm going to go ahead and rewind this back to the top of the conversation, because I've always got to check in on my friend. You know, in order to be considered a friend, you got to show yourself friendly. And I'm always going to show myself friendly to this one. So, Karen, I got to ask you, sis, how you been? How you doing? Did you have a good day?
I did have a good day. You know, things are coming into alignment, getting, we've got less boxes that need to be unpacked. That's a good thing. We're moving through things, and it's a wonderful thing. So, I'm not going to give no preview about the conversation we're about to have, but, we'll whisper down the alley that literally I have a new address, and we've been talking about that because sometimes it'll take up your whole life. So I still need some pointers in this big transition that I've had, but I'm grateful. We still having sunshine down here. I heard y'all had a bit of rain in different places, and there are storms that are brewing somewhere everywhere. But the sun has been shining down here. We had one evening of rain, which I don't mind if it rains at night, Tilted, because I'm really, you know where to find me when the sun go down, when I'm out here in these country streets. So that's all we're going to say on that. But it's been a good day. It's been a good week. I'm like keeping myself reserved, right? Because the shenanigans that we about to get into, never mind. Will not be televised. That's all we're gonna say on that. As we are celebrating being nominated for one of the Interstar Awards, and it's always a celebration when we get to connect with our creatives. So super excited about that. Excited to see our tribe family, and just it's so much. That's all. So I can't tell it all, but I can be a friend, right? Just like you have been a friend, and we know you lead the show, and there's a lot of things that go with hosting and co-hosting, but I wouldn't be right if I didn't flip the table right back around to you and ask, how you doing?
I'm cold. Let's talk about that.
Lord.
Your girl is cold up here in these Lehigh Valley streets on this evening. Those of you may know this is a little fireplace behind me. It's got the little space heater going because, again, I'm cold. I got my little stadium blanket wrapped around my legs because I'm cold. And I'm just really doing my best not to complain about being able to feel the change of seasons. But at my big age, sometimes we feel the change of seasons a whole lot differently than we did in our younger years, if that makes any sense. But I am absolutely grateful to be alive and well, to be able to feel anything for that matter. Because, you know, unfortunately, we did lose a legend in the music industry on today. You know, shout out to the fam D'Angelo and his family. Because we do realize that we lost Angie Stone earlier this year, and then now D'Angelo, and they had one mutual child. So we're praying for their son, I believe. We're praying for their son because, you know, he is sitting under the weight of grief and losing both parents within a short period of time. So rest in peace, D'Angelo. I'm a music lover of all sorts. Y'all know, as a choir director, and if you've ever seen me direct choir, y'all know I know how to get my boogie on in the name of the Lord and keep it righteous, not raunchy, as I'm moving the crowd. So yeah, I'm doing okay. Other than that, you know, I'm grateful for provision, supernatural provision at that. I'm grateful to be surrounded by my tribe. And hey, like you mentioned, Karen, this week is Interstar Week, and I'm sure you're aware because you've been involved in several of the conversations we've been having amongst the tribe, preparing for Saturday, October 18th at the Archer in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Now, when I said that just now, I got to ask you, make sure you correct me, Karen, when I get to talking, because sometimes I get to talking so fast. I listened to last week's replay. And last week, when I made the announcement off the top of my head, I said Allentown, New Jersey.
We had it in the comments.
Huh?
We had it in the comments. Roy Rhonda was on, and she was like Pennsylvania, and I said, "Yeah, PA, you right."
Yeah, but y'all know I don't mind being checked live because that's why Absolutely. I keep you all around me for that accountability aspect of it all. Y'all hold me accountable for greatness. Y'all hold me accountable to make sure that I do this because, again, as a family and as a supportive friend, we always try and do our best not to let one another down and show up where we say we're going to show up.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's a preliminary word of encouragement to anybody listening on tonight. Show up when you're going to say you're going to show up, because one thing that's helped me establish the brand that's known for its integrity is that, you know, we do what we say and we show up, because all we have is our name and we got to protect it at all costs. You know, some Absolutely. Would say, what is it, the old saying, Karen, what is a rose if by any other name would still smell as sweet? Well,
yes.
It's still a rose.
And
I just want to make sure that we maintain the reputation of being a consistent platform.
Absolutely. So
I got all are welcome. Go ahead, Carol. What was that?
I got to give a little bit, you know, into One, the PSA, if you haven't gotten your tickets to the InnerStar Awards, go ahead on and get your tickets. It will be in Allentown, PA. You've already said Saturday, October 18th. I believe that there are tickets still available. So if you're looking for it, go ahead on your social medias, go on these internets, and you can look up InnerStar Award Show and get all of the information and details there if you so choose to join in on the shenanigans. And one additional note, we're keeping our tribe family, Rasheen Pugh, in our thoughts, because he was one who has actually worked with D'Angelo and Lauryn Hill on one of the songs, Nothing Else Matters. And that's what, like, my top favorite Lauryn song. I think it at least is my favorite of those two together. And so just thinking about it, and I know he did just a brief live earlier, but remembering those who are close to us, because here's the thing, right? We're not even going to get into all the words of encouragement, but we understand life is short for many. And so we want to make sure we are making sure that every day counts. And so I had to stop for a moment, not just to give that, but to also just say publicly, right? I love you, sister. Why? Because even if today was the last day, we're going to meet in heaven and have a bunch of two steps. But today, to say publicly, I love you for all that you do, for all that you bring, and even for how you got wrangle us all together. And I'm saying I love you today because you may not think that I love you on Saturday when I'm focused on the shenanigans being as high as I can make them. So I'm publicly telling you that now. So it's on record.
I love you too, sister friend. And, I love that you did that because that's another point of encouragement that hopefully those in the viewing and listening audience pick up on. I noticed that I myself, and I'm sure you've picked up on it every time we've spoken as of late, Karen, I'm intentional these days about making sure I say, I love you before I hang up the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because you need to hear it as often as possible with so much going on in the world. I just got out of a meeting, where there's active conversation and active motion in the areas of mental health and stability. These conversations are ongoing. And one thing is, people are feeling very unsupported in so many different ways. And just to hear, I love you. And sometimes an I love you doesn't even need to be verbal. And I love you can simply be a smile. Or if you see a sister or a brother whose fit is absolutely wonderful, I see you is an I love you. Acknowledge someone in their greatness. No matter how small they may think it is, it's still something great because it's encouraging me and it's making me all fluffy and frilly like in my shanana. So look, it's a little dark out there, but I think my motion sensor just went off. I believe tonight's guest is approaching the porch, and it's a little chilly here in the Lehigh Valley, and we got some home training, and I don't want to leave her out there too long because, the people that love her might come for me. So can I get a drum roll, Karen, so we can get into tonight's Superfan shout out? I can't hear you, though. Woo! That's right. That's right. There you go, girl. That was wonderful. The hi-hat. The hi-hat is my thing. I got to give a huge shout out tonight to someone that those of us in the InnerStar networking circle are very familiar with. I have been in many rooms with this young woman of God since I made the initial connection. I thank God for the gift of discernment and the power of connection. I mean, in connecting with the right conduits, as I've been growing this brand for the people, by the people. So tonight's Superfan shout out goes to our sister, Brianna Ofosu. Yeah, I got to give it up for our sister Brianna on tonight, because over the years, we've shared space as podcast sisters. We've shared space as curvy models on several runways. And most recently, she provided a gang of us the opportunity to add a first to our creative resumes. Over the years, Brianna has hosted several classy events, networking, where we've been able to sit and hear from and rub elbows with some of the movers and shakers from here in the Lehigh Valley and beyond. When I first made her acquaintance many years ago, she was sitting at the helm of the Faith and Fashion 360 podcast, which she has now rebranded and started a YouTube page, Just Moments with Brianna. All right. And I'm grateful that she posted the interview she did with me there. And I'm grateful for the interviews she's posted of several others. And I look forward to more to come in her new media ventures. Not only is she growing and blossoming by leaps and bounds as a media personality, girlfriend got it popping with the Bella & Co. accessories. And if you saw any of the video reel from last year's Interstar, y'all know those wonderful hoops I was wearing. They came from our sister's store. You know, I am a huge fan of supporting my friends in business. That's how I've been able to successfully keep my Black dollars in my community, because I got a whole lot of friends that do a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that. So boycotting Target wasn't hard for me, because I could always call Brianna and get me some earrings at a price that won't break the bank. Can we say we can be fabulous and affordable all at the same time? So Brianna, I look forward to seeing you in the height of your element this weekend at the Interstar Trailblazer Award ceremony. I'm praying for you right now that God will keep your body healed and keep your body strong for all the ripping and the running that you are completing on this week. I thank God in advance that every conversation that you have and are privy to is laced with so much grace, you will not be able to stand it. And even as you stand through all the grace tsunami that you'll encounter on this week, I'm grateful that that light that you carry will illuminate or continue to illuminate every space that God allows your foot to trod. You are an amazing wife. You are an amazing mother. You are an exceptional business woman. And I celebrate you. We celebrate you here at Unhinged Live. Got to give it up for you. Love you, sis. See you soon. I know I got a little purchase. Love you, Bree.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Would you like to add anything to that, Karen?
I'm just grateful to know her and to see the amazing work that she does. So definitely worth giving her flowers right now. And so we're excited to celebrate alongside with her and to see all that her hands will have a place in for this weekend. So shout out to you, girl. We do love you over here at the Unhinged Show. All right. Listen, the porch is getting warm.
All right.
Yes. Are we ready now?
Okay, listen.
Yes.
We ready to bring in tonight's guest. Listen, y'all know I'll be all over the place, right? And you see me hopping hither to and fro. And every single time I walk in the room, I'm just like, okay, Lord, show me. Show me who I need to connect with next. Show me who we should put on the platform so people could learn about them. And I'm trying to tell you, even as I was sharing with her before tonight's broadcast, I've always observed this queen. We've been in several different rooms. We've made a little small talk. Hello, how you doing in passing? But something about her through my observation, I'm like, wait a minute. I believe there's a whole lot more going on with this silent powerhouse. I just feel so much power coming from her. And I am grateful that I was absolutely correct. Tonight's guest is a creator in her own right. And she is building legacy in her own way, in that she is establishing systems to help us move forward in every single aspect of our lives, not just physically, but spiritually as well. We understand that so many different people walk in the face of the earth. And I know this is my experience every day. People don't necessarily embrace change for what it can be. They get stuck looking at the moment. But I'm grateful for this specialized midwife. She's a midwife, Karen, because she's helping others with estate planning, moving. And as I said at the top of the show, tonight's conversation is magical indeed. It's a God moment, because I didn't know that we scooped the situation in that. Well, you know, I won't tell all her business. I'm going to let her tell it herself. Bring her on in the room.
Hello.
Hello, Precious.
So excited to be here. You have no idea how grateful I am to share space with the both of you. I am just so delighted, and I just want to tell you that I am delighted, and hopefully I will be able to be included into that friend circle where you check in on me and I check in on you, because those things are so important about building community. So thank you. And I was over here talking, like you were talking to each other. I was like, well, I got something to say. And then so it's just so much fun. So thank you. You have no idea how honored I am just to be in your space and just to be a part of this conversation. So I mean, I don't even think you have the words for the gratitude that I feel for just to be here. So thank you. And if you're wondering, yes, I did just put my first name, because in my mind, that's all I need, right? My first name. First name is Jevata. It's so funny because people will say it wrong, people will get it wrong, but I have this little thing that says if people find you important enough, they'll figure out how to say your name. And that is just something that I have taken with me as a child. My mom said we will not have nicknames, because if you get a nickname, sometimes people never learn your name. And that is just like, it's just something that she said. So she said, nope, you will not have a nickname. This will be your name. People will learn how to say it. And they do.
You know, that resonates with me, Jevata, because growing up, you know, I didn't let people call me Nikita until I turned 30, because I got sick and tired and sick of people jacking up the pronunciation of my name. And even to this day, in certain circles and in certain emails, even though my name is spelled very clearly, you know, people still manage to spell my name wrong, even though it's right there in plain sight. They still tend to put the pronunciation on the wrong syllable of my name, that they go Nikita. No, stop that. It flows. And I'm grateful that at my big age, I've developed enough grace to just accept it. Because as I said earlier, a rose by any other name still smells as sweet. But depending on who it comes from, I'm like, excuse me, it's Nikita.
I'm going to play the other side of it and say, I don't want you to ever accept less than what you are. That's all I got.
I got you. That's why I started checking people with how they say and spell my name, because my name is very prophetic. And I had the opportunity to share about that in several different interviews. My name has an extremely powerful meaning, and my mother knew what she was naming me before I knew I needed my name to mean victorious people. My name really does mean victory. So when people look at me, sometimes my confidence can be mistaken as cockiness, and that's not it. I walk in the Godfidence because even before I knew how to write and spell my own name, he knew me before the beginning of time,
Yes.
well enough to say, hey, yo, Liberta, name her Nikita.
I love it, 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 love it. Okay, so yes, you wanted me to do an introduction. I think the people just met you again.
They meet me every single time I walk in the room, Jevati. I am a character, and every now and again, I do issue a verbal disclaimer. I am a piece of work. Be prepared for this shenanigans, because I am the shenanigator of the bunch.
Yeah, it's funny that you thought you thought that I was quiet. It's just that we didn't know each other. That's all.
Exactly. So I
That's all.
appreciate how we're going to get to know you on tonight's broadcast and how we'll continue to stay connected moving forward. Ooh, and that was not intentional, but I said moving forward. Let's go
Girl,
ahead.
if you knew how many times I do that in a day, then you would just laugh because I'm like, look at me moving along. Oh, I can move forward. You want to move with me? You girl, I can do this all day.
You too. What's
Love
really going on?
Exactly. Exactly. We can do this all day.
All night. I will sing the show intro mid conversation in a heartbeat. Like, what's really going on with these people today? You
And,
know,
and then I might like then I'm like, oh, there's songs that have moving in it too. Cause like we like to move it. We can do this all day.
we can do this all day. So let's get into tonight's conversation. It's all about you tonight. And we are huge fans of you telling your own story. And
Okay.
I'm really interested in knowing how it started and how it's going. So this is how tonight's conversation is gonna flow. So first, can you please share a little bit more about yourself? Are you married? You got a husband? You have some children? You have a cat? Do you have a dog? Do you have some goldfish that you would like to share about?
Thank you very much for that because I often tell people to introduce themselves with who they are, not what they do. And so I love that you want to know who I am. So my name is Jevata Crawford. I have been married for 9 years. So today is actually our wedding anniversary. So yeah, yes. So yeah. So that's it is. I got married a little bit later, but I say that you always get married at the time you're supposed to get married if you find the person that you're supposed to be married to. So I am a transplant here to the Lehigh Valley. I grew up in Virginia and I had only lived in Virginia until I went to graduate school and then I lived in Indiana, which is a whole different thing. And then I moved here. And I moved here to relocate for work, which is why a lot of people change locations to go find, to go for work. And so I was here just working and doing my little work thing and figuring out who I was. I was a Mary Kay consultant. That was a fun time because it's so funny. I laugh now because have not, I put on makeup maybe twice a month now, but when I was a Mary Kay consultant, I did it like every single day. And but I do skincare. I do skincare every day. So I may not put on makeup, but I do skincare every day. And so I think that everyone should have an experience in a multi-level marketing organization only because it gives you some life skills, it gives you experience, it gives you teamwork. It just exposes you to things that sometimes you can't get in a corporate setting. I tell people that I am not a life coach. I am a move coach, which I like to say the difference being is that I want you to go from A to B, and I use systems and project management, where life coaching can be a bit broader subject matter. And so It just depends on who you're talking to so that people can understand what that difference looks like. Let's see what else. And so I have one sister. She's older. I have two nieces and a nephew. I was an aunt when I was 13. So that was a different experience. I don't have any biological children, but I have a lot of what I like to call nieces and nephews because I say that my superpower is being an awesome aunt, which I think every child should have an awesome aunt in their life, someone who loves them just a little bit differently than a mom can love them. But so I think that's one of my superpowers is being an awesome aunt. And my favorite color is red. And let's see. And my favorite food probably is ice cream with a close second to crab cakes. It's quite a meal, but those are my two things. If I could have those, I could probably eat that every day. And and so I'm stepping into my role as a creative. I like it. It's sometimes a little bit overwhelming, and some of my friends say that I'm an influencer.
Listen, that last statement, I do agree. The networking piece of this all can be a bit overwhelming, and there are days when I have to have my own rocky moments in the mirror. Getting stronger, because I gotta go on out here and network. When the truth of the matter is, I have a lot in common with you, Jevati. I love ice cream, as we previously discussed, and I would rather be in the house eating some ice cream with my remote control, watching one of my favorite shows or an old movie. I love to laugh. So I do have to ask you a question since you brought ice cream into the conversation.
Yes.
What is your favorite flavor?
Cookies and cream.
Okay.
Cookies and cream. It gives you like it, and I like it to be a little bit more cookies. Like sometimes they're skimpy on the cookies, but I'm an Oreo fan, so I really would like the cookies to be in there so that I can have that nice little crunch. But yeah, cookies and cream. But in the interesting thing is that as I was telling you one of my favorite ice cream shops, and I'm willing to go on an ice cream date if you're willing to go on an ice cream date. they they had one day they had banana pudding ice cream, so that could top the list too. It's just such a specialty flavor, you can't get it all the time, but I'm gonna tell you, the choices made me happy.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you have a place down there, I'm willing. I mean, we might have to road trip and figure it out.
I just would like to say this is all research, okay? So research calories don't count. So
I agree.
whether it's meeting in Virginia for ice cream. So now you are inspiring me. We always try to figure out over here, husband and I, like what is our next adventure going to be? And I promise I can convince him of a good ice cream run more than anything else. And so, fun fact, we celebrated our 2-year wedding anniversary just last week. So listen, love is in the air in October. I don't know.
Look how we got that shout out right there. I didn't say it, but I'm just saying I'll meet you outside.
Also, our tagline, we outside.
So look. This is Rhonda. This is Rhonda. Okay. You ain't said nothing. We will meet you there. Rhonda and I are famous for making ice cream runs together. We travel for food. Okay.
Yes. So one of the things that we did when I was dating, I don't know, like maybe Dan Bosket is my husband. And maybe you don't, but now you do. And one of the things that when we were dating, which I'm not going to recommend is a good thing to do while you're dating, because the calories while you're dating, they must count. They count. I'm not going to say, but we were like, well, let's see who has the best ice cream sundae in the Lehigh Valley. So like when we would go out, we would have to like also have an ice cream sundae. And what we found is that people really weren't doing that great a job because, like you got to heat the brownie. There are a lot of things that you have to do. So as you can see that, yeah, I am a foodie. I love going to different places to eat. And so that's me, because one of the things that I realize is that you have to know who you are, and that's how you can create a home and, like make it so that your life is what you want it to be.
And part of that would be making sure that there's always ice cream in the freezer.
Well, I had to take it. I mean, okay, so no, you do not do that, because if you love ice cream, it should not always be in the freezer. You have to make it a treat, because otherwise it will be on your hips, your thighs, your stomach, your belly, and your arms, and your neck, and your face.
My response to that is actually for Unhinged After Dark, okay? So let me move this right along. All right.
So you probably want to let's just keep it let's keep it professional, huh?
It's kind of like, just bring it back in. I told you I'm the shenanigator, okay? So I have to ask you, for your for the work you've done with all of your move projects, I gotta ask you, what was your aha moment? Because in some pre-show prep, I noted that you've assisted people not just with basic moving. You've helped and assisted in estate moves after a loved one has been deceased, things like that. And from my understanding in my field of work, I work in human services. And a lot of times, people don't have those supports in place, and we have to refer. What helped you establish the need and step up to fill it in that space?
I like to say it's when opportunity meets preparedness, if that makes sense. And so when I started, I was really like, it was more of a friend was like, "Can you help me move?" And I was like, "Sure, I ain't doing nothing." I mean, I had just gotten let go from a job. So I was like really in that in between stage, which a lot of times we sit in. And so I I got into it by opportunities, if that makes sense, because I would say, yes, I can handle the large moves. And so it wasn't like I set out that this would be my jam. It was more of opportunities came along and I said, sure, I'll help you with this. Sure, I'll help you with this. I tell people all the time that a lot of times we want to force our next opportunity, but sometimes it's just saying yes to what's in front of you and gleaning from there what skills you have in order to be able to be helpful to those people as well as to fulfill what you need. And so that's where this came from. It wasn't I set out to do it, because I learn new stuff every day. I realized that when I first started, I was flying by the seat of my pants. It was like, okay, I'll help you, but I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'll try. And a lot of times the one thing that people needed in a move, more so than just the tactical work, because there are plenty of people to do the tactical work, is they needed support. They needed a plan. They needed an understanding of how they were going to get from A to B. And one of the things that I'm very good at is project management. And so that's where that skill is the one missing skill that people did not necessarily understand it was a missing skill. They just felt like, I'll just bridge all these ideas together. And I was like, okay. And I am good at it. So that was a fun thing too. And it's fun. So that, I mean, it's a different, yeah. So I mean, like, I don't think that I set out to do this. I just think that it was like opportunity, and I was doing parts of it, and you just put it together.
I love that. Love that. You know, as we also get the opportunity to celebrate with you, it's well, I call it a birthday, you know, but we could call it a book day, you know. We could
Oh,
call
I like that.
a
I like
whole
it.
bunch of things, but you know, as Tilted mentioned about you being a midwife, right? The
Yes.
understanding that it's more than about the move. Can you talk to us a little bit about your author journey, right? Your birthday for your book, Moving in Place, that is on sale now. We don't wait for you to do a shameless plug because we will be shameful and make sure that we are promoting your work as you are referred to as the Move Queen. So, talk to us a little bit about your book and what that word "move" means. I'm putting it in the actual quotes because you know, the folks may not be able to kind of see the M dot O dot V dot E dot and what that means when folks refer to you as the Move Queen.
Okay, so first of all, very excited to be called the Move Queen. That is, it's so much fun. So I have a question. I'm gonna do this, and I like to do things as I process information. So when you were a kid, did you ever take your name and like take each letter and say what would that mean? So, like, if you were to take Karen, you would say Karen is kind, and then you'd say the A, she's ambitious. The R, she's right on time. The E, she can be everybody's friend, but, and the N is now is, like, did you ever do that?
Yes.
I recall doing it, and it's been some time. My R is relentless, but you know, we can go wherever we need to go with this.
Exactly. So I did that with moving. I did it because I was just really trying to make it mine, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And so I was like, okay, if I'm talking to someone about moving, how is it that I can have a good conversation with them so that they can get it? And to simplify it, so I would start with, like, the M is motivation. So I would say, why are you moving? Give me your understanding of what makes you move. And then I'll tell you that as I was writing the book, one, like, and I'm talking to people about it, and they were like, well, motivation is good, but if you don't have the right mindset, then you can't be motivated. And then I said, well, gosh, if you have the right mindset and you're motivated, then you'll probably make space. And so then I was like, okay, so maybe the letters are a little bit more fluid. And so then I would say, oh, of course it's organization. That's the easy, right? I'm an organizer. It's easy. And then I was like, well, it's also ownership. And then there's order. And so then I had to explain the difference between order and organization. But there is a big distinction so that you understand that you can have your house in order, but it still not be organized. When you can have your house organized, but it not be in order. And so really understanding how to use those words. And then I'd say V, I always go back to values. It's visions, values, and voice. Your values have to hatch, your values dictate your vision, and your vision dictates your voice. And
nice.
so that I could then have conversations with people. And then the I was, who do I need involved? Like, what is my intuition? Like, as I'm like talking about it. So I would have these letters so that I could have conversation. And so then the N was now, next, and navigation, because, like, it's all about direction and how you're going to go. And then I have the G, and I always wanted G to be growth because I wanted people to know that a move is about you growing into your new. But then I also needed you to be grounded so that you could be realistic in what you were thinking. And then I was like, I better give you some grace because you're going to say, Jevati, I don't like this at all. And so then I could have a conversation about moving, and then it would be less stressful, right? Like, you're not like, it's not just about the boxes. Now, then people would say, well, you do the tactical stuff. And I'm like, the tactical stuff to me was the easy part. There are like 100 moving companies. There's 100 places for boxes. I can go on YouTube and figure out, like, I may have never packed a chandelier, but I can watch a YouTube video and I could pack it by this afternoon. And so like all of these things were important. So my process for the book was that I needed to show people that there was something between the I'm moving to the tactical. And then I also wanted to ensure that there was tactical stuff in the book, because if not, you would say, do I know how to move?
That's
And
good.
so the book has the tactical in it. It has tools, it has the story behind it, but it's really about what you want to get out of the move, not just the actual, like, just to make it happen. Because all those conversations, when you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
that's the big part. So Karen, I heard a couple things in your introduction. Congratulations on your move.
Thank you.
I know congratulations. You feel like, why would she say congratulations? I say congratulations because moves are opportunities for growth.
Oh yeah.
They are an opportunity for you to decide what you want tomorrow to look like.
Mm.
And so, is it hard? Is it difficult? Yes. But also, it's such an opportunity because you are not in a place for 20 years where your first step is that you have to figure out what, like, you don't have to do the I'm decluttering because I want my room to be better. Instead, you get to sit in your room and say, how do I want to live?
Yeah.
And then you create that space. So as you take things out of the box, you can then say, does this match who I am? Because
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't get to stay. It's much easier to do it when you're setting up than when you're trying to take away.
So you definitely hit a couple of things, right? And hopefully we could chat right now about a little of that. So
Definitely. Definitely. Just call this you me for free.
they said, let's do it. Here was the biggest challenge for me. My husband and I had been married a year and a half, and I was one who I wanted us to move right after we got married. Like, let's get into this, let's go do these things. And then I realized that the time that it took for both of us to get to ready ourselves for the move, right? So majority of things still in this house too, it's a lot of my stuff, right? So when we were moving, it was my stuff. And I had to tell him, you have to be kind to me and show me grace. Why? Because everything that's in this house has an emotional attachment to something. And I have to go through and let things go, right? And in his mind, it was, well, if you're not using it, and I did listen some. But the fact that we still married after we moved, right? That's also a wonderful thing. So I celebrate that as well, Jevata. And I think the final thing for me that I said to him is we had kind of a twofold thing. So he was like, if we don't have a place for it, we need to get rid of it. It's like, calm down, sir. Like, we trying to stay married. Give me my moment. So I asked for a certain amount of days, right? I said, here's the compromise in the middle. Not just do I have space for how we're living now, because we moved from more of a city type region to we're in the country, y'all. I can't drive out here in the dark if I wanted to without hitting something, and it's gonna be vittles for the rest of the week. So I just don't go outside. Like, he driving if we're going somewhere. But there's also some things that I had to go through, and I talk about my DNA has changed, right, or is changing because what I once wanted, right, now has to be reprioritized and to confirm, does it fit at this new address? And it's not about space because we have more space, but it's about, like what you mentioned, of what do I envision, not just my life to be, but how did I make space for both of us? How did we say, okay, yes, this, yes, that? And I'm pulling stuff out. So I'm blaming the wedding a little bit, Jevata, because we had wedding gifts that we never opened, right? And so my husband is like, are you still buying stuff? First off, this all your fault because you the one asked me to marry you. So people started dropping stuff off. It's not my fault that we had like so many things. I love it because it's a rediscovery for us. So people are on to the next thing, and we still are like reopening wedding gifts. He's got his fryers, so he get the he fries some, okay, never mind, that's a whole nother thing, but we get the unpack. He fried some good fried chicken the other week, so be like, oh, I love this man, but every bite that I took, oh Jesus, he was anointed. Anyway, we had to find space for all of that stuff.
So Karen, one of the things that I uncovered as I was writing the book is what I like to call move types. Ooh. And one of the move type that you have uncovered is what I like to call merge and move. And what happens when a lot of people are merging households? It could be from a wedding, it could be from, like you're moving your parent in or etc. Is that you didn't have the initial conversation of what we looks like. And so when we are moving, a lot of times we just start. And we don't take the one, to take a little bit of inventory. And so this is a wonderful opportunity for you to spend some time in conversation, which we all know is wonderful in relationships, is to spend some conversation and say, well, what does a we home actually look like? Because a lot of times we have different perceptions in our head as to what a we home looks like. And so he's saying things like, well, if you don't use it, get rid of it. My husband says the same thing. And I'm just like, look, he's like, aren't you an organizer? I said, look, you got to pause a minute. One of the things that you have to understand is like, what does that we home look like? Yeah. And having that conversation so that you can understand, like, what am I bringing into it? And so like I say, there are 6 move types in the book. I don't highlight them specifically. I do it in a poem because, everybody writes poems, right? And it's just really like, you move together, you move apart, depending on what you're doing. But the key is that to really understand, like, what are the values that you have? Because that will make it so much easier when he says, well, because my husband goes, if you don't need it, why we got, why we got this or why we have that. And so like, if you can understand like the values and really feel comfortable in the voice, because that's going to make it so that 6 months from now, it's easier to declutter because you would have had those conversations and you'll understand what that looks like. So that's why I say moving is more than boxes, because the boxes is the easy part. Easy. Like people think that packing the boxes is the hard part. That's the easiest part you have, which is like putting it in the box, because you kind of can forget about it for a minute, right? Like in a box, it's like it's out of sight, out of mind. It's like when I take it out of that box, what is that thing saying? And so that's why I say moving is kind of like a full contact thing, because you're using moving takes finances, it takes emotions, it takes logistics, it takes physical. It's like a full contact activity. And so I get the honor of being a part of people's lives so that I can take some of that stress out of it.
I love it. I'm chuckling because Rhonda's over here, and as you were talking,
I'm sorry, I read the comment.
The challenge is this: the day that we closed on the house, my husband went and got lawnmower, all of the lawn care. We had already talked about some rooms and how it was going to be. So the whole overall house, we didn't have the full conversation, but we had already had the conversation and disagreement about what was going to go on in the garage, because he doesn't want to park his car in the garage. That's fine. My car is going in the garage. If rain hits me, you better act like I'm a melt, because that's not what I'm looking for my lifestyle to be. So we agreed one side would be his lawnmower. Now at the time, right? Because there's one thing about making the plan and then the reality. Because he said lawnmower. We got stuff hanging up on the wall. There's the shears. We got the lawnmower stuff. It's electric.
He meant to say lawn accessories.
That's what he meant to say. But Giovanni, that's not what he said. And so when I came in, it's like, okay, well then you got to move this because my car can't fit in with all of that
It's
stuff.
lawn accessories, not lawn mower.
It's lawn accessories, and he loves doing that. I love that for him. I promise you, I do. I love that for him. However, we had to have a conversation about the original conversation because I thought it was, he was gonna take up a little spot. Whatever. He got a whole wall, and then there's the blower and stuff on the other wall, and it is multiplying. And now I use that as leverage, though. Don't come over here bothering me when I barely could park my car up in here, and we only been here 90 days, but we working it out. So I love it, as you were mentioning about the conversations that we need to have, because the one thing that I think is so healthy about all of this is when you mention, like, who do we want to be in this new home? And that has morphed into other things over just the first 90 days that we've been here. Well, we ain't really been here almost 90 days. And it's like, okay, well, we just wanted to get everything in the house and to, not have so much clutter. And then it's, well, what about this couch? And what about this here? And I thought I didn't like that. But now I'm seeing that now that we've got it all together, I'd like more of that. I want more of this here. And so, I had to relinquish some things, especially in the merge part, right? As you're talking about being able to say, what am I okay with, right? Ain't no way in the world, you doing certain things, and what's well, babe, if that's what you want to do, I support it. And then also, what's that a little bit for you, a little bit for me. In our living room, we have recliners. In 1,000 years, he would say, I don't want a recliner. You know where he is right now? At this very moment, in the recliner that he said, nah, I think I don't need. So to make space, I think, as you were talking, that was the thing that came to mind, is that, that grace that you talked about, being able to give yourself grace to say, you know what, I changed my mind. And I like this new thing here where I get to recline and watch crazy movies that thankfully I'm here with you all. I'm not required to watch. There you go. Love that. Love that. So now, as we're still getting into the book and your process and the things that you've done, what has been kind of what you would, if I would call it, maybe one of the most beneficial experiences that has impacted kind of the formation of the book, where it was kind of like, yeah, we need to write about this because it's definitely made a positive impact. I love you thinking.
Okay, I know you asked me a question.
Yes, so
it kind of got a little broken up, so I'm not really sure what.
Sure. So if you could share with us,
so
one impactful.
I don't know what to say,
and my voice might be chopping up. So the question was, what is a story or experience that impacted your writing, and you were saying, yes, I need to include this in my writing?
Okay. Okay. So the one thing that I realized that I had to include in my writing is that I had to include myself, because it's very easy to write about what you see. But I needed, one of my beta readers pointed out, and they said, we still have to be able to see you. And I needed to be able to display how moving impacted me as well. And why I think it's important, like why I think transitions are important, like, because it's not like, if you just say, well, you wrote a book about moving, it's kind of like, who would care? Like, why should you care? And then I had to figuring out, why was I so passionate about it? Like, why is transition so important to me? And I realized that it was important to me because it helped me to grow who I am. And I wanted people to have that same experience. I didn't want them to have that move just to be a something that happened to them. I wanted them to look at it and say, this is an opportunity that happened and I got to grow. I'm a better person. I'm creating a home that when I come home, I tell people that when I move them, I want your home to give you a hug when you walk in the door. I want you to be that person that is hearing. Like you feel like you can feel it, like you had a bad day, you get to walk in the door and your house is like, welcome home. You see things that make you happy, that bring you joy, that give you balance. And that can only happen is if you've moved with some intention and you've created that space. So yeah, so that was the aha moment, that it wasn't just about my clients, this was also about me.
Love that.
And that I could share about myself as little or as much as I wanted to, but I could grow through that process as well. So I'm a better person because I wrote the book, and that's exciting.
That's beautiful. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if it's not a hug, you don't want it to slap you when you walk in the door either, because that can happen as well. Because if you haven't been purposeful about it, when you come home, you're just as stressed. I mean, you want to be a place that your creativity can be nurtured and grow so that you are better. Like you get to come home and get refreshed. Like I read an article that said that, like when your husband comes home, he should be coming home to happiness, to joy, to not conflict. That's the same thing the house is supposed to be doing for you.
That's good. That's good.
So that's what I think.
I love it. Tilted, I might need you. I'm thinking over here.
I'm enjoying this conversation because I'm ingesting several nuggets as far as how I'm going through the decluttering. It's ongoing because I'm just coming into my empty nest years, and I got this house full of stuff that's an accumulation from raising a family. And now that there is no one in the house to be raised, a lot of these things I discovered that I had out of convenience or because my children wanted them. So now that the children have their own in their own spaces, get rid of some of these things. And I find personally for me, I don't have a whole lot of attachment to things. I don't have a whole lot of attachment to things. And I believe that is simply because I've lost everything twice in my life to house fires. So everything that I typically put into my homes now, I'm very intentional as to what they mean, as you've been speaking, Jevata, what they mean and why I want them. Say, for instance, I'm divorced. After my divorce, I decided it was time to go ahead and change the energy in my home by getting rid of some of the shared property that I had with my husband, to invite new energy into my space. So I got rid of my sofa. That was one of the first things I got rid of because it was broke. It was big and it was bulky and it was comfortable. And I made sure when I chose that furniture, it represented his masculine energy with my feminine touch. So in replacing that sofa, I said I wanted me a polka dot chair because I love polka dots. Mm-hmm. So I searched high and low. I knew what color I wanted because I'm into the jewel tones, the colors, the blues, the royal blues, the purples. So long and the short of it is, I now have an eggplant colored sofa in my living room. It's an L shape. It's convertible for convenience because you may not want to sit on that side. Want to flip it to the other side. And I also have a beautiful polka dot chair with, of course, the accent pillows sitting there. I went with the deep purple because I often talk to some of the young women that I mentor and I share with them, especially in your single season. And those of us who are in waiting for our husbands, I always advise, hey, try and make sure you keep your space not so feminine that a man wouldn't feel comfortable in the space, if that makes any sense. Most would think that blue is my favorite color when it's actually not. But I found myself having a whole lot of blue spaced in my home, especially in my bedroom. I didn't want to be that woman. Oh, the first time my husband see my room, he's surrounded by a whole lot of leopard, cheetah, lace, and pink. He wouldn't want to stay in there. If given the opportunity. Preparing a space for what I desire has been what's been in my head. So even now in my decluttering process, this is an old word we received from Pastor Juanita years ago. You got to get rid of that stuff to make space for them.
Make space.
Do you have any advice along those lines for your singles in our community?
Yes. So because we were all singles before we were married. So
right.
So one of the things that the best thing that you can do is to understand what you like yourself. It's not about trying to identify what potentially could be liked on the other side. It's understanding your space, because even if you are dating someone and they walk into your space, they need to understand that it's you, because they get you at the moment for which they are in that room at that moment. So when you are saying that I make space, making space is understanding that I'm comfortable in my voice. These are the things that I like. My husband will tell me, I'll take your pink suitcase. It doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't matter to him. It's like, if he needs that particular size of suitcase and the pink one is the one that is that size, that doesn't matter to him. In making space means that when there is someone else there, that you understand how to share the space. But it's not about like trying to create something for something that's not there. You need to be as full and as big as you are at this moment, so that when they meet you, they know what they're getting. They get your fullness.
They get the whole queen. They get the whole queen. It's a castle over here. They get
the whole queen. So when they walk in the house or they walk to the door, and you remember your house gave you a hug, that house is gonna give them a hug too.
I love it.
It's not that you have to change who you are, but when they walk in, they ought to be able to see you. They ought to know what you like, so that they know if you like African art, well, there's African art around the house. If you like the color pink, they need to understand you like the color pink. But it has to be who you are, so that because I feel that one of the reasons that you can go from singleness to marriedness is understanding yourself, so that you display who you are. And that is your home. And your home, because it's a simple thing as, you can get rid of some of your clothes if you needed to. if you needed to make space in your closet, you can make it happen. I mean, there are areas, but if you don't know who you are, when you're looking at your closet, I need everything. But you don't need everything. You just need the things that you can be.
Yes, well, I appreciate that, Jevata. And I heard you, Karen. You say you like it over here, right? Listen, my home is eclectic. But the first thing you do feel, and I hear this quite often, you feel the spirit of peace in my home as soon as you walk in, because I have created a sanctuary, not only for myself, but for those I invite into my space. I want everyone to make sure, hey, be who you are. And as I coined the phrase, and I share it every single week, just be. I just want you to just be. If you're tired, go ahead and lay down. We got a few sofa selections for you. We got a shades if you feel a little fancy. You got your pinky in the air that day with tea. Go sit over there, honey. I got you. If you want to be able to kick up your feet and sit back and just have a day with the remote control and some good apps on the Roku television, go ahead and sit on over there. I got some throw blankets over there in the basket. If you catch a little chill, creating space for people to just be. As a certified life purpose coach myself, that is the best word of encouragement, first of all, I ever received in my life. And now to be able to share that with so many others, be it through how I welcome them into my home, how I welcome guests here on the platform. I want you to just be, because I'm going to just be. Whether you can handle it or not, make space for me, honey. I'm here. I'm going to just be.
I mean, it's such a simple concept, because one of the things is that when you feel comfortable and you're able to, articulate your voice, your visions, and your values, you will be able to release things. Like, it's very easy for you to say, no, I'm not going to wear that again. But it's hard when you're trying to, like, sometimes when you declutter, sometimes people want to do it for a feeling. And decluttering for a feeling, it's very temporary, because what you end up doing is you just end up getting rid of, oh, I'm going to declutter my kitchen, and it's a feeling. Well, it's easy to throw away expired food. It's easy. You do it. You're like, oh, I did it. It's a great day. But you still feel like your kitchen is not functioning how you want it to function. And that's because you didn't do any good work, right? And that's what a lot of times what the two of you are doing is that you're asking people to do the good work, and then I come in and then I help them to translate that into their spaces.
Nice.
Okay.
So
yeah, and so that's why I tell people that I can't do both. Like, trying to do both of those would be very difficult.
Well, call us if you need
like
team
y'all being a life coach.
You need us, call us.
Yes,
we got
yes, that and that's what I tell people. I said that's why you have a team of people to be able to accomplish bigger things, because a lot of times clutter is not it's a physical thing, but it's emotional baggage.
Yep.
And so
Can you say that again?
When people have to do.
Can you say that part again?
She said, "Do I get a
bag?"
Clutter is.
No, because I've been speaking that for years to people. I can tell how you feel just by looking at your space, and the clutter is the evidence of what's going on your insides. So what was that? Clutter is what?
Clutter. I don't know. Now I'm all flustered. I don't know what I said, but I don't know. But clutter is really just a manifestation of what's going on in your life. Even for me, when I'm in heavy, when I was editing the book and everything, I tell my husband that sometimes I nest. And I don't know if you've heard that term before, where I need everything around me to be just to feel comfortable, to feel like this is what's going on. And I said, I need to get through this cycle, but I'm okay with it because I know that I'm doing it. Right? Once you recognize that this is something that you need to get through a certain thing, but a lot of people don't know that they're doing it. And so you'll see that they'll have everything around them, but that's a comfort thing. And so then you kind of say, well, what's making you uncomfortable? And so those are really the things. So for me, like I said, I help you figure out how to create an environment so that you can get through that. And moving it's a lot of conversations. It's a lot of pieces, but it's fun. It's fun. It's hard work. It's definitely hard work, but it's fun.
It's fun. It absolutely is. Especially when you get to live in that new space that you've created.
Yes. Yes.
It really, really is. So look, I'm looking at the clock. And child, this has been a smooth conversation. And listen, y'all are tuned in to Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Tilta Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Coach Cash, Karen Sims Harold herself of Twisted Threads LLC. And you've been enjoying the melodic voice because you just sound so wonderful, Jevati. Jevata Crawford, Project Move. And Karen shared that it is a birthday of sorts for you. But before we get into that piece of the conversation, I want to go ahead and acknowledge some of the
Okay, sorry.
I'm going to act up with you, girl. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to go ahead and acknowledge some of the people that I see scrolling out here in these comment streets. Of course, we've one of our podcast squads popped in. Movement Underground popped it on tonight. And I am so honored that they popped in and said hello to us tonight. They're broadcasting from the South. And I am such a fan of that platform. Thank y'all for stopping by. Sister Heather, I see you, Miss Heather Washington. I think we had you up a little bit past your snack time or your bedtime. I did see you say good night, ladies. You've enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight, Heather. I'm sure I'll see you at the karaoke spot soon. DJ
by the way,
Z,
I like karaoke too.
I hope to see you. Say you was invited. You're invited.
Yes. Do you have a favorite karaoke song? I'm such a distraction.
Oh no, that's fine because I got ADD. I'm keeping up with you. Well, I have a favorite, but I don't really do it anymore because everybody does this song. Lauryn Hill's "Killing Me Softly."
Oh.
Now I gotta throw something out there because she will kind of come through with anything from Mario as well. So we're just gonna put that out there as well. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite song, but I need a partner, and it's usually my sister, but she lives in Virginia and I live in Pennsylvania. And so just really, and she tells me I'm a little crazy, but my favorite song is Salt and Pepper Push It.
Okay.
Girl, come through. Because I had planned to tag somebody else to do that with me this Thursday. She don't even know I'm about to set her up. I'm not gonna put it on blast on air. But if you would like a partner to help you do that, I've been working on my lyric. Yo, baby.
Yo, baby, I'm loving you. Come and give me a kiss.
Make it fast. It's like I hear the music coming hard.
Like I wish you would. Now push it.
Push it good. Karen, look, Karen is looking at me in that tone of voice again, Jevata. You act right.
I got y'all better get it.
Okay.
Y'all better get it.
Okay, I'm going to put you back on. I'm going to put you back to where you were. You were saying who actually had tuned in with us today.
Yes.
Remember?
Shout out to DJ Zeem. I see you in the comment streets, and of course our sister. Before I move on to our sister, DJ Zeem, Interstar nominated DJ of the Year. That's our brethren. He's going to be hosting our karaoke jam this Thursday. So, Jevati, if you have space in your schedule, come sing with us.
This Thursday, I'm going to be in Jamaica. So I'm not going to be there because I'm going to be in Jamaica.
Well, put your feet in some sand real deep and ground for me.
Sprinkle
water. So I will have to catch you on the next week.
All right.
That's just fine. I am a fan of catching flights and getting additional stamps on our passport. You are excused from karaoke this week, sister.
Thank you very much for my excused absence. Thank you very much.
And of course, I gotta give a huge shout out to Miss Angela Conley up in these comment streets. Listen, if you want to talk about a digital street team extraordinaire, that's you, Miss Angela. I see you. Yes. Every single time we pop on, you are making sure that people know to bring their hind parts over here and catch the conversation because you already know what it is here at Unhinged Live. We are making sure that we keep ourselves and those of you in our listening audience lifetime fine. We're making sure that we take care of you, mind, body, and spirit, because we are all multidimensional. And many of you are much like us. We are very adventurous and we like to have fun. So thank you for tuning in. So listen, I got to get back to your birthday, Jevati.
Yes. So
Share, sis.
Okay, so you know how like sometimes you have a lot of words and then you get real excited and you don't got no words? Okay, I got to get myself back together. Okay. So I've been working on this book. It's called Moving in Place. And I just want to tell people what place means, because sometimes people think place means just your house. Place means identity. It means who you are, your whole physical being. So it's moving in place, moving your identity, moving yourself, moving who you are. Well, the coolest thing is, so I got some author proofs. I had to do a couple more edits because, believe it or not, sometimes you don't get perfection the first time you look at it. So, but look what happened today. It's right here. It's right here. It's like right here. It's like, yes, like look, like moving it really fast. It's just so exciting. It's like it dances for you. So I am going to I'm going to just read the because this is my favorite page of the, well, it's one of my favorite pages, but I'm just going to read a little something from the book so that you can. So
we love that. We love that.
So it says, before we begin, this is the preface or preface. Depends on where you're from, I guess. Before we begin, I want to pause and say something important. You made it here. That might sound small, but it's not. You picked up a book about moving, which means something in you is shifting. Maybe it's your space that no longer fits. Maybe it's your story that's ready to be rewritten. Maybe it's your spirit saying, it's time. I wrote this book the way I speak, with space to think, breathe, and feel. The rhythm of the words on these pages isn't what you'd expect. It's intentional. Sometimes the truth doesn't land in a perfect paragraph. It lands in a pause, in the room between sentences, because real moving happens in steps, not sprints. And this book is meant to walk with you. So take your time, reread the lines, underline what hits, rest when you need to. And when you're ready, let's move.
I love it. That's beautiful. That is a beautiful invitation to all of those in our listening and viewing audience. When you're ready. I love that. I love that. When you're ready.
So how can our viewers and listeners...
And if you are wondering where you can get it,
go ahead. That's the question.
That's exactly what I was asking.
They're going to ask me a question. But I can't hear you, so I don't know what to say.
Listen, that's all right. We got this private chat room that I know you can see.
I can't actually see the chat, which is so funny. I cannot, but that's okay. How can I see the chat? Let me see. There it is. I can see it now.
I'm typing something to you now. And pardon my typo.
Yes. Okay. So I can see it now. So yes. So you can actually go to my Project Move website, which is www.projectmovelv.com. And there's a button that says purchase the book. And at some point it's going to be on Amazon as well, but purchase it from me directly. And then, you know, I sign the books that you purchase from me. The ones from Amazon probably won't be signed. So yes, and so it's really cool. And also follow along on social with me, because I'm going to be releasing some digital products that are going to be coming out from the book, and some additional things. That one of the things that I didn't want the book to be so heavy with content. I wanted it to pique your interest, to say, okay, I'm moving. How can I do this? And then I want to be able to kind of go along with you on that journey, so that you feel like, okay, if I need a little help, I could reach out. And that's what I want people to feel. And you got these 2 life coaches here. I mean, this is going to be like a powerhouse thing. I get to be so lucky. I get to refer people to because some things are bigger than moving. So, yep, that's it. That's the website. Yes, it is. And so I think this is a wonderful place to have those conversations, because transitions are part of everyday life. And so you're moving regardless if you think you are or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So listen, Jevata, thank you so much for joining us on tonight. We have your information. We're going to keep it posted here and somewhere. I'll find and post all of your information in our interaction group there on Facebook. As you see, we support everybody. If you're doing something great, you never know when I'm going to pop up in your inbox and say, hey, can we have a conversation with you on Unhinged Live? So thank you for so graciously accepting our invitation on tonight and hanging out with us tonight for the entire show. Please thank your husband for us, because not only is
he ain't even home yet.
Well, okay, we got you.
It's I told him that I had this wonderful opportunity, and the wonderful thing is that as you make space in your life and you have great communication, that you can, you get the opportunity to grow in yourself as well as in your relationship.
And I love that. And I'm taking notes. I'm taking both notes from both of y'all.
Yeah. And Karen, call me or send me a note if you just need a little bit of support as you're unpacking, or you just want to kind of like throw, just have, because one of the things is that a lot of times it's just that knowing that you have a lifeline is sometimes better than having to use a lifeline.
That's true.
Amen and amen again. I knew it was a whole ministry going on in the Project Move situation.
Yeah. So yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, and she's a travel agent, and so when we were kids, we thought the only ministries were like song, dance, speaking the word or etc. But as we are adults, we realize that ministry shows up in different forms, and a lot I did not know that you could do ministry through helping people to move, but it's proving to be very true. And so that's where it's an opportunity for us to understand that God is doing ministry in lots of ways in our lives and through lots of opportunities. So I get to have a move ministry, isn't that
something that is specifically you?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So look, we got to get ready. All right. Because I'm warm now. The space heater is doing what it's supposed to do alongside my wonderful lap blanket. So that's right. Going to take a sip of water, sister girl, because I need to invite everyone to get ready to receive. Yes, one of my favorite segments on this show. Get ready to receive yet another powerful, on-time, ready word of encouragement from our very own in-house certified master life coach, She the Bomb, y'all. And she's also my best friend. I'm talking about Coach Cash herself, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC, with this week's Reflection of Purpose. Coach Cash, go on, take it away.
Listen, y'all know I always come with a title. If you didn't listen to nothing else, go back and do the replay. But for this particular moment, right, I love it because I always come with the title. And tonight's title is Eviction Notice. Yes, we keep it with the moving theme. Why? Because it's just so catchy and we can't do another way. Eviction Notice. This is real life conversations. And so I want to remind us all, when we're thinking about mindset, and we talked about that earlier, when we're thinking about grace, and we talked about that earlier, one of the challenges that many of us have is that we stay stagnant and stay in places too long because we've allowed what some of the folks might call stinking thinking. right? You might have heard that in your time growing up. Stinking thinking, those negative thoughts, those voices in our head, for those other people, we're going to call them haters today, right? It is time for the haters that are in your head to get their eviction notice, because some of us are a mindset shift away from our next big thing, right? But we've got to take the time to make focus on what are we feeding ourselves mentally? What are we listening to? Who are we allowing to speak into us so that we can get filled up? Because you've heard us say many times, you should be giving from your overflow. Well, honey, if you got people that's only draining you, you've got nothing left to give. Today is their eviction notice. Today is the day that you stop letting voices that don't feed you steal from you. You are allowing robbers into your home. Many of us have alarms on the doors. You might have a Susie May like me. If you don't know who Susie May is, y'all ain't been watching over here, but me and Susie May keep real close over here. It's my 9mm Glock, but that's a whole nother thing. Some of us are protecting our physical body way more than we are protecting our mental. And as we think about mental health, and as we think about the things that we even need to be focuses on, this month is not only breast cancer awareness, but it's domestic violence awareness month as well. And so we want to remind you that during this time, the people, the voices, because a lot of times somebody will say something one time and you will repeat it in their voice in your head. They don't belong there. They did not pay rent to stay there. So now it's time for you to give them that eviction notice. Give those voices, kick those voices out and replace it, right? If you all have ever known a landlord, landlords will tell you they enjoy seeing new tenants come in. Why? Because there's fresh paint. You got new stuff, new carpet on the floor, maybe some new hardwood flooring. We've done zhuzhed everything up, and now it's ready to receive the next big thing. Do not allow the haters, those negative voices, the negative impact. And I promise you, I had this conversation with a friend of mine this week where I had to say, you got to kick them out of your head. Why? One, they don't belong there. They don't deserve to be in your thoughts, telling you negative things about yourself. And only you, right, can kick those voices out and replace it with reminding yourself that you are beautiful, that you are worthy, that you are more than enough, that you are well equipped for the assignment that has been given to you. And when all else fails, or you feel inadequate in any moment, go ahead and lean on God, because he would never take you to a thing that he's not going to bring you through. We've got ministries, as we just talked about, that it's time for them to be birthed, as we're seeing so many things going on in the earth. And honey, we're waiting on you. The world is waiting on you. But first, you've got to issue that eviction notice to all that negativity that you are allowing to take up space. Usually I lead with the positive, but today I wanted to remind you, because if you let that bad seed in there, it's not only going to spoil the one apple, but it will spoil the whole bunch. And y'all know what I'm here for. What am I here for? I'm here for the cake. And I can't get to the cake until you get to the completion of your goal. And that is that goal, that very next big thing that you have on your horizon. And I'm okay with cupcakes. It don't have to be a whole cake. Rhonda, I'm coming. Get my cake ready. That's all I got to say on that. Get my cake ready, Rhonda. I didn't eat it last year, but I'm eating my cake this year when we come through. I'm here for the cake. You know how we do. We want to see you achieve your goals. But first, go ahead. Put that eviction notice out there. Tilted, right back at you.
You know, as you were sharing, you know I ain't got no sense. All I heard was, in my best Martin Lawrence voice, was, I kick people out.
I love it. And you got it. Kick them out.
Hey, listen, I put people out. And you know what? What you said, we are always on the same frequency. And that was basically the gist of my Just Be conversation on tonight. Just be intentional. Just be intentional about letting go of the people, places, and things that no longer serve you. Listen, tonight's guest highlighted it so well on this evening. If it no longer serves you, why do you have it? If it no longer fits, sis, gone and own all them new curves God blessed you with. You're not going to be a size 4 anytime soon. Go ahead and get rid of it. Put it in that giveaway bag and pray in advance for the person who's going to receive that garment, that it might drape them with the spirit of joy that you carry on today. And if it's a person, listen, we've often heard people come into our lives for a reason, a lifetime, or a season. And some of these folks that we have around us just to say we have an abundance of so-called friends, they no longer serve who you've grown to be. See, you've been busy, much like myself, doing the mirror work and identifying every freckle, every lump, every bump, again, every curve that makes you who you are. Your scars are part of your identity. However, sometimes the people you have around you like to keep poking at that scar, keeping that wounded space inside of you open. And if you feel yourself sliding back into that energy that you no longer want to exist, it's okay to just go ahead and let them go. And sometimes it's okay to walk away without explanation, because it's been my past experience. Usually, when you walk away without animosity or malice, folks typically tend to find out exactly what it was that caused you to walk away, especially if they've been listening to your conversation, especially if they've been front row and center to your growth, healing, and development process. Just be intentional about letting things go that no longer serve you. And I'm even talking to some of our professionals. You know, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And sometimes we stay even in these professional positions of employment entirely too long. Whereas you put it, Coach Cash, we begin to believe the untruths that are spoken into us by our supervisors, by our coworkers, that would make us want to accidentally believe that we are not enough. Well, I am here to tell you, it is okay to let them go. And as Coach Cash put it, let go of those voices inside of your head that are screaming nothing but lies from the pit of hell. Now, many of us here at the Unhinged Live Tribe, the extended tribe audience, we are believers in Abba Father. That's right, Jehovah God, Jireh, the one who provides it all. And he will provide you everything that you need to sustain you as he continues to order your steps, moving you forward into your divine purpose, into that thing that he would will you to become, and into that blessing he has predestined you to be to those you encounter in your rising, in your setting, and in your coming, and in your going. So again, be intentional about letting go of the things that no longer serve you, but pick up something that brings the colorfulness in your life, even if it's something as what some would think as common as a karaoke microphone. Just be intentional. It's your girl, Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell, Coach Cash herself of Twisted Threads LLC. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you again, Jevata. You are an absolute blessing. And I don't know if you notice how my energy shifted towards the end of the show. I'm no longer cold and I'm no longer tired. I want to give you the opportunity to say the last words on tonight's broadcast.
Wow. Okay. So thank you for the honor. So wow. Okay. I love Just Be because I played around with the word like be, and I always like to make it say black excellence. So I would like to finish with Just be excellent. Just be excellent. And what that means is that you have to define it for yourself. You have to make it your own, but just be excellent in everything that you do. So as you are just being, you're just being excellent.
I'm here for the cake. I'm here for the cake. Thank you so much, Jevati. And thank you so much to every one of you who are still with us on this ride. Stick around. You know, in the aftermath of Interstar, it's going to be a whole lot of good conversation and shenanigans in the weeks coming to us. They up ahead of us.
Yes. So have all the fun at the Interstar Awards. Again, I will be in Jamaica. So I will not be at the awards with you, but we're all winners and we're all excellent. And I'll miss you.
Thank you.
And we just might pull out that Lauryn Hill in your honor this week.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm going to need video proof.
Okay.
I'm sure there will be.
Happen. Don't worry. We're going viral 500 times this week. Trust me.
I cannot wait. I cannot. And I will look forward to
all right, y'all. So looking
duet.
around.
I look forward.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, absolutely. So check it out, y'all. We are at the end of the show. So you know what it is. Until next time. Peace. We out.
Hey.